Our goal as a community is to complete a hardcore Nuzlocke of every Pokemon game using every individual type. And this time I'm going to beat Pokemon Crystal with only Steel types. In this run I only get 5 encounters, so not even a full team, and more than half of them are 4 times weak to Fire type moves. Will I be able to beat this run, or will I fall short against the flurry of Fire types on our adventure? The rules of the challenge are on screen and in the description if you want to reference them later, and without further ado, let's get into the challenge. I started with Totodile because I needed a HM user, and giving the rival a Fire type isn't exactly a mandatory rule, it's normally just for added challenge, but this challenge is hard enough as it is. After beating our rival Jet Fuel, I can capture a Bellsprout, which is obviously a Steel type. I mean, it's shaped like a bell, so is Bronzong, which is a Steel type. But I'm not going to be using this Steel type Bellsprout, in fact I'm going to trade it for the in-game Onix. Or shall we say Steelix, let's just pretend it was holding a metal coat. This youngster is a lot nicer than Mindy trading away her Haunter with an Everstone. Now Steel types look good on paper against a flying gym with a resistance and massive defenses, but Faulkner's signature move is Mud Slap, which is 4 times super effective on Steelix and lowers accuracy. I get myself up to the level cap. Gen 2 level caps really do suck, by the way. Why am I level 9 at the first gym? And I have to hope I KO the Pidgey before it gets too many Mud Slaps in on us, which will make the Pidgeotto a pretty much negative chance to hit. Giving the Steelix a berry is also pretty much mandatory in beating this gym, as it will mean you have more chances to actually try and hit his team. I did contemplate giving it the Pink Bow, raising its normal type move's power by 10%, but that's implying I will actually hit my attacks. For a winning run, I do have to hope I knock out Pidgey before the berry pops. Then it means I have more health to outlast the 10 uses of Mud Slap on Pidgeotto. Long story short, it's a war of luck and attrition, and took me a fair few tries. I take more poundings than Lily Phillips in this battle.
I'm Lily Phillips, and today I'm
going to be doing a hardcore Nuzlocke.
I hate the internet sometimes and what I've seen. Regardless of that, I do take out Faulkner and get the first gym badge, and the TM for Mud Slap, which will immediately go on Steelix. What I also could have done before this gym battle is utilise Gen 2 event distributions for my starter Pokemon, getting either a Vent Egg for Magnemite or a Skarmory, bypassing getting Steelix at this moment. Someone somewhere has recreated these long gone events from the NYC Pokemon Center in 2002, so you could possibly get them now, but my favourite headcanon is 6-year-old me going all the way to New York, getting these eggs, and never hatching them on the off chance I make a YouTube video about them. Of course I went to New York at 6 years old with nothing but my Game Boy Color in tow just for these specific event Pokemon. You can't prove that I didn't, you didn't know me at 6 years old. At least I hope not, that would be creepy, and I will get you arrested. On the path to the next gym, Steelix does start to disobey us in battle, seeing as it was a traded Pokemon, so we have to get that next badge before this giant steel monster goes rogue and kills me. Die! I do get the hard rock after battling Faulkner. This item will increase the power of rock moves by 10% akin to the Pink Bow, which will be great as we get Rock Throw soon. The battles with Team Rocket and Slowpoke Well do cut our level cap really close, and I have to be sneaky in the gym to try and avoid the trainers. But now after getting Rock Throw in the moveset and with a hard rock in hand, wait, pause, we can now sweep the gym no problem. Well, when Steelix actually wants to attack, giving us gym badge number 2 and more obedience on our giant monster. Who's a good giant steel monster? Who's not gonna kill me? Now while I beat the rival, leave a like for this challenge as it really does help the channel out. Leave a comment also of what Pokemon challenges you would like to see in the future. Now going into Ilex Forest and teaching Steelix Headbutt, which is not only a great normal type move, but allows me to catch Pineco, which is honestly just waiting to blow itself up. One of its free moves is Self-Destruct, which luckily it doesn't use. Yet. Moving onwards, going into the National Park and the bug catching contest day, I can catch a Scyther. Now I can't use it yet, much like Pineco, but still, Scyther is going to be a beast once we evolve it into Sizzle later. After taking out Whitney's Clefairy and using Screech to help take down the bulky Miltank, we get the 3rd badge. And here's where things get a lot nicer for our team, as we can make some additions that can actually be used right away. Going east of Ecruteak, I can capture a Magnemite, which is not only something I can use right away on the team, seeing as it's already a Steel type, but I can evolve Cypher into Sizzle now. This is because Wild Magnemite can hold the Metal Coat, which is used for said evolution, So this means this is the earliest point that we can legally get a Scyther. But with Cypher on the team, we add a Pokemon with 130 base attack. I also took a detour back to Goldenrod to get the TM for Thunder from the game corner, teaching it to Magnemite, as without that TM, we'd be stuck with Thundershock until after the champion, if we even make it that far. After beating the rival again, God leave us alone, and releasing the legendary felines into the ecosystem, I can battle Morty, the ghost type gym leader. Now his Gengar does have me worried, seeing as it is fairly strong and fully evolved, but he should have been afraid of Magnemite. After its thunder spamming, dealt with this gym really easily, getting us our 4th gym badge. Also before that gym badge, I beat the Kimono girls getting the HM for Surf, and now that I can use it outside of battle, we can get an absolutely brilliant move for Magnemite, which will make it even more powerful than we just saw it was. Using the power of Surfing, I can detour even further back to the Slowpoke well to get the TM for Rain Dance, which works in tandem with Thunder, giving us a 100% accurate 120 base power move with same type attack bonus. This essentially boosts Thunder to a power of 180 power. Plus the Rain Dance will be really helpful in quelling any fire types we come up against, as it reduces the power of fire type moves by 50%, which is especially helpful when 2 of our team will be bug and steel types. Utilising Surf again lets us beat the red Gyarados and collect the red Scale, which can be traded for the EXP share with John Pokémon, the creator of all Pokémon. This guy is so weird, honestly. It's like someone walking around with the name Mr. Human. I gave the EXP share to Pineco, who has absolutely no offensive capabilities whatsoever, so it will need all the help it can get, reaching its bizarre evolution level of 31. Luckily our level cap is 30 however, and that's the level that Magnemite evolves into Magneton. And I'm definitely going to need that to beat Chuck, who is the fighting gym leader. And his gym trainers were giving me some issues, making me quite worried about this battle against his 2 attacking powerhouses. One dynamic punch and it's game over for the Magnets. But with the power of Thor, we take his team out in very short order. And honestly, I did not know how great Magneton was. Magneton fans, I am sorry, I was not familiar with your game. At our level cap of level 31 in Mahogany Town, Pineco finally evolves into Fortress, and I can use it as the defensive wall that will be so great that would make Donald Trump blush. We go into Price's gym and I'm not even going to waste your time. Sizzle sets up a Fury Cutter sweep and his ice types don't stand a chance. Fury Cutter can reach a power of 160 when used consecutively, so this was a really simple battle. But the Steel type gym leader is up next and I'm determined to prove that I'm the master of the metals, training to our new level cap and giving Steelix the soft sand item to boost the power of Mud Slap. This move really helped give us the edge in the battle as it KOs the Magnemites due to the 4x weakness, and the Steelix to win the mirror match via accuracy drops and resistances, and helps us move into a part of the game that I've been dreading. And I haven't been dreading this part because of the tediousness of the Team Rocket grunts, but because the final boss Rocket has 2 fire types in Houndour and Houndoom. Someone made the trip to Kanto. Well, Team Rocket came from Kanto, so they obviously got those and came to Johto. But speaking of catching things earlier than you normally should, I didn't know that you could access Blackthorn immediately after the 7th gym. I always thought you needed to beat the Rocket side quest first to get there, but no, you just have to beat them to access the gym, meaning we can move south of Blackthorn to capture our final team member in Skarmory. A nice flying subtype to add to the team, and finally sync with Fly, making travel a lot easier. I beat the rival pretty convincingly, and then made my way to the top of the tower to face the new unnamed Rocket boss, and we'll have to try and quell these hellhounds. I need to start Magneton to use Rain Dance to weaken the power of their fire type moves, but take a strong hit in the process. Just from the Houndour, imagine what the Houndoom was going to do. Luckily I can make it through thanks to the 100% accuracy of Thunder in the Rain. Seriously, don't sleep on weather moves during these challenge runs, this was a lifesaver, and if I had the Damp Rock in this generation, I could probably sweep the game with just Magneton. Going into the final gym battle, and there wasn't much to report here, I just used Scizor in a Fury Cutter sweep. Kinda funny how the final boss of Team Rocket is normally really easy, but he's really difficult in this run. And Clara is normally extremely difficult, but she's pretty easy. After a quick quiz in the Dragon's Den to prove my brains and brawn, I can get the badge and head to the Elite Four. In the Victory Road I can get the TM for Earthquake, but I never actually used it because I appreciate the accuracy drops from Mud Slap too much, taking out the rival one last time before the Pokemon League. My team is pretty much as good as it can get in terms of movesets and items, so let's just see if I can actually make it past this part of the game. Starting the Elite Four challenge against Will, leading with Skarmory and just battling away using the power of brute force, knocking out Xatu, and then swapping to Sizzle for the super effective Fury Cutter sweep. This helps Sizzle level up once and learn Double Team, which is a necessity for this part of the game, hence why I wanted to bring it into battle, eventually sweeping the Psychic Elite Four member with just Fury Cutter. Koga's poison types can't do anything against us really, since poison moves are not very effective against steel, and steel types can't even be poisoned at all. I lead with Skarmory again and beat the Ariados, and his Fortress is a hard counter with its massive defense stats. We would know, we've got one. I bulked up Sizzle by dancing with some swords and swept his team. Are you starting to notice a bit of a pattern here with my strategy? Battling Bruno and bringing out the strategy. Mixing Swords Dance with double teams, +6 attack and +6 evasion. Lovely. Slicing his team clean in half, aside from the Machamp, who got an unlucky damage roll against, and almost lost Sizzle in the process with a critical hit cross chop, leaving Sizzle on 3 HP. This means I had to swap into Skarmory just to deal with his final Onyx, taking the battle, and now for the most challenging battle so far. With Karen's Umbreon, I can't set up against it easily because it has Sand Attack, making things a lot trickier because a high attack stat is useless if you just can't hit the opponent. Just ask Steelix in Gym 1. I set up my own Sand Attacks with Skarmory against the Umbreon and landed the Thunder Wave with Magneton to help immobilize it. I then had to swap out Magneton because I didn't want to risk any Sand Attacks with Rain Dance and Thunder, which is pretty silly because Rain Dance makes Thunder 100% accurate, I just didn't realise it at the time. Not that I really know if Sand Attack affects this or not. Now I have to set up the Rain just before knocking out Umbreon, giving it as much turns as it can to be up, because Houndoom will come in next. Now against Houndoom, with the Rain already set up, this gives us a chance to land a Thunder uncontested, and just miss the KO. But Houndoom also misses the KO as Magneton lives in the red. And do keep in mind, Rain lowers the power of fire moves by 50%. That was a 50% damage Flamethrower. Houndoom is fully healed, so I could land another Thunder out of chance to get a high roll, but we didn't. But I got the Paralysis instead, confirming an outspeed on the next turn, allowing me to take it out. And now with the biggest threat of the Elite Four out of the way, well, the biggest threat so far, Sizzle can just sweep the rest of her team no problem. Remember how I just said this was our biggest challenge so far? Well, next is Lance, and he has a Dragonite with Fire Blast, and a Charizard with Flamethrower. But he leads off with Gyarados as we lead Skarmory for the Sand Attacks. Gyarados setting up the Rain for me, which is really kind, but I'm not using Magneton right now. Gyarados fails to land a Surf as I brought in Sizzle, setting up +6 Double Team and +6 Swords Dance. That's the strategy, baby! We take out Gyarados, and despite 6 double teams, we know it's not a guarantee that Charizard misses Flamethrower, so my heart is actually racing. But Scizor avoids it and one-shots the unofficial Pokemon mascot, soon knocking out the rest of Lance's team with the highest attack stat in the world. After taking him out, this makes us the champion of the Johto region, but we know we aren't finished yet. We have a whole other region to take over, so let's take on Kanto! With the Kanto section of the game, much like always, I just skipped through it, getting a lot of good items in the meantime, like the leftovers from the Wild Snorlax, and the TM for Toxic from Janine, sweeping every gym on my merry way. And yes, that even includes Blaine's gym, who I swept thanks to the power of the rain. But here's the battle with the final Kanto gym leader, Blue. I lead with Fortress to set up some spikes and Toxic for fun, now using Magneton's Rain Dance and Thunder combo, expecting Arcanine to come out next. But no Arcanine, it was Executor. I was not expecting that, but whatever, as Magneton gets a 2-shot, avoiding Leech Seed in the process. Arcanine is out now and the rain has stopped. Oh no. I had to use Thunder Wave to try and outspeed and set up more rain to survive. But then I have to swap into Steelix and hit a few Mud Slaps through paralysis and accuracy drops. But Arcanine did eventually hit a Flamethrower, and that is our first death of the run, and it's our spiritual starter in Steelix. Sizzle cleans up after Steelix and we take out the rest of his team pretty simply, but cutting it close against his Alakazam. But we still take it out, and we get the final gym badge and can battle Red, the final boss of the game. But at what cost? My Steelix is dead! Now it's time to get our remaining team members to the level cap, and I had to use my big strategy brain here, because there are a lot of variables in this battle that could make predicting it a nightmare. But it doesn't go too well, starting off with Pikachu as I was hoping for a paralysis with my Magneton. But I lead Skarmory instead because I'm stupid, swapping into Magneton right away and hitting a Thunder and landing said paralysis, then sending in our Forretress to take it out. That was a horrible start and our team has already taken way too much damage as Venusaur comes in. This is where I need Skarmory and instruct the throwing of an entire desert into the eyes of Venusaur, and then try to get some damage in before swapping to Scizor. With Venusaur at -6 accuracy and us going to +6 evasion, essentially making Venusaur -12, and setting up +6 attack via Sword Stance, healing up with leftovers, we can take out the Venusaur and have to pray we get past the Charizard. Again, +6 double team doesn't guarantee a miss, but our chances are very high and we avoid it to take out Charizard, then the Snorlax, then the Blastoise, and finally Red's Espeon, beating Red and beating Pokemon Crystal as a hardcore Nuzlocke with only Steel types. I'm not quite sure how I beat this challenge, but thank you so much to the power of the rain. Being British and seeing the rain every single day, it's literally raining right now as I look outside my car. I never really appreciate the rain as much as I should do now. But I hope you guys did enjoy that challenge, and I hope you do have a really good New Year's in 2025 and all that. I don't think my next proper video will be out until the new year. But when that video comes out, make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell and everything. But honestly, if you did enjoy that video, be sure to leave a like and check out my socials in the description. My name is Super123, and I will see you all next time. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could be a one, be a new addiction. It's all in my head, but I want no fiction. I don't want to worry about it. Oh, come here, go. Call me hot, not pretty. Ugh.